For Rimbey, Rocky Mountain House, Sundre.
Public land use decisions not only affect the way of life of local residents and the recreational opportunities for Albertans at large, but they also affect critical economic activities throughout our province. From forestry to agriculture to tourism and other sectors, our public lands support millions of dollars of economic activity and thousands of Alberta jobs. I could not find a single mention of any independent economic impact study when reading through the NSRP Regional Advisory Council's report. Does the minister believe that land use changes should be made without independent economic impact studies?
Good question. Honourable Deputy Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. When it comes to the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan, the government has been consulting for years. In fact, the Regional Advisory Council, which includes many fine people from folks living in the members' riding, who have contributed to this work since 2014, since his own colleagues in his own caucus were part of setting it up, Mr. Speaker. So we certainly appreciate all of the work that they have done through the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan, and we respect the work of folks who live in your community, Honourable Member.
For supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, given that I know the folks that live in my community, given that some of them right now are in the gallery for my community, and given that the minister says that she respects the work that they did on that regional plan, then why is it that this government, through leaked memos and through the minister's confirmation, the Minister of Energy on behalf of the Minister of Environment, have already predetermined the result for the Bighorn and did not listen to those fine folks who worked on the Bighorn or on the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan?
The Honourable Deputy Premier.
Well, just to clarify, Mr. Speaker, the information referred to is advice from the options note that was created for the Department of Environment and Parks. No decision has been made. We've said that over and over again to you, Honourable Member. That's a fact, and I would appreciate if you reflected on facts in this House instead of, again, creating conspiracy theories. No, now that is no secret that officials have been working with options for more than 5 years because these members across the way never got the work done when they had the chance to. When they were in government, our government's going to take care of it and finish the job, Mr. Speaker.
Second supplemental.
Well, Mr. Speaker, given that it is this government's leaked memo that has caused the problem, nothing that I said, and given that this government has continued to refuse to consult with the people of my community and will only talk to special interest groups that they want to talk to, will this minister then stand up and commit right now that she will respect the Regional Advisory Council's recommendation not to put a wildland park inside Bighorn?
The Honourable Deputy Premier.
Again, Mr. Speaker, the memo that the member refers to was advice that was given. We are gathering advice from 21 different town halls, advice from the folks who worked on the council, advice from department officials. No decisions have been made yet, Mr. Speaker. We are committed to making sure that we get this project right, and the member opposite is being irresponsible with the truth, Mr. Speaker. We just provided $200,000 in grants to Bighorn Heritage ATV Society with their OHV trail development, promoting responsible recreation, Mr. Speaker. That's our track record. That's the results that we've brought forward, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Rimbey, Rocky Mountain House, Sundre.
Mr. Speaker, I clearly asked this government several times, but very clearly today, that if it is not true the memo that was leaked from their government, that if this is not predetermined, will the minister stand up and assure the people of Alberta and the people of my community that this is, one, not predetermined, which she has done, but second, that she will follow the Regional Council's advice and there will not be a wildland park in the Bighorn? Yes or no? No more rhetoric answers, just a straight yes or no answer.
The Honourable Deputy Premier.
Well, I don't tell you how to ask questions, Honourable Member, and you don't get to tell me how to answer them. What I will say is the truth. And the truth is that we are taking advice from many folks, including experts in department, experts in the region, the 21 town halls that were held to ensure that we get this right moving forward, Mr. Speaker. I wish the Honourable Member's colleagues would have done something about this when they were in government just 3 short years ago. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? This side of the House is no shrinking violet. We will stand up, we will make sure we do what's right, and we will reflect on all the advice we're being given.
For supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, again, I will note that the Deputy Premier will not answer the very simple question. Yes, this side of the House actually got it right. They put in a process for regional planning, which has been followed, a process that this government has kept hidden from the public for over a year and has finally released it now. The question I am asking is very, very simple, Mr. Speaker. Will this government respect the recommendation from that report and not put in a wildland park or not?
The Honourable Deputy Premier.
Again, the answer is more complicated, Mr. Speaker, than the member wants to allude. We are getting advice from lots of folks, including folks who are part of the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan, folks who are part of those 21 town halls, folks who are in the department giving advice. All of this is advice, Mr. Speaker, and the reason why I can't give an answer is because we don't have an answer yet, because we're reflecting on the advice, we're doing the responsible thing, consulting with folks, and making sure we get the right determination as we move forward, Mr. Speaker.
Second supplemental.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there certainly has not been 21 town halls inside my constituency, given that I am the only one that has actually held an open town hall completely to the public, a hall that was so full they had to shut a provincial highway. Well, this government continues to only meet with select people. So I'll ask another simple question through you, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Premier. Will this government finally meet with my community, not lie about meeting with mayors, but finally come and meet with them?
Government House Leader. Order.
Yesterday, the Leader of the Opposition, or maybe it was the day before, said when they go high, we go low. Honourable Member, you are no Michelle Obama. I can tell you that much. I have to say that the folks of the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan, the Council developed opportunities for 21 town halls. Folks that are part of your own community, Honourable Member, worked to make sure there were 21 town halls that were available so people could give their advice. The reason why the advice was released was so people could give their feedback on that advice from the folks from within the department itself, Mr. Speaker. So I have to say I am very proud of the fact that we're making sure we get this right and that we're not rushing to rash stunts like members opposite continue to do in this very...
Thank you. Cool it down, folks. The Honourable Member for Drumheller-Stettler.
No.
I'm sorry.
In the Caribou Draft Plan, quote, the Canadian Parks and Wilderness Society, or CPAWS, of Northern Alberta model and analyze areas for priority for caribou protection, end quote. Now, CPAWS is also trying to actively influence the outcome of the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan by undermining the work of the Regional Advisory Committee, particularly when it comes to the Bighorn area, calling the Bighorn Regional Advisory Committee advice out of step with most Albertans. Now, in estimates, the Minister told us that the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan process was the primary tool used to consult with ordinary Albertans. Given this, can the Minister tell us why the government has been working closely with organizations like CPAWS who delegitimize part of the public consultation process with Albertans?
The Honourable Deputy Premier.
I think slandering organizations that are global in perspective is also delegitimizing the role of the opposition. I have to say we are happy to have the feedback from all Albertans, including the 21 town halls that were held by the Council to gather input. We are very proud of the work that the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan has been engaging in, Mr. Speaker. We're proud of the fact that we just provided $200,000 in grants to the Bighorn Heritage ATV Society, the OHV Trail Development, promoting responsible recreation, Mr. Speaker. That's our track record. Those are the results, and we're proud of them.
Supplemental.
Given that the Minister doesn't seem to understand that the problem is not CPAWS, it's the Minister putting special interest groups like that ahead of Albertans. And given that the government is clearly relying on foreign-funded interest groups to drive the Bighorn planning process, and given that it has already been confirmed that the government decided an outcome of a new wildland park prior to the completion of the public consultation process, can the Minister tell us when did the backroom deal on this predetermined outcome happen and which special interest groups were there?
Deputy Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, again, members opposite, maybe they're owning tinfoil companies these days, because I have to say the conspiracy theories that keep coming from across the way, when the truth is, and I've said it over and over again, I will continue to, is that there was an advice document that we received from department. There was also advice from 21 town halls that were held on this specific matter, and the Regional Advisory Council includes folks from the Bighorn area. We're proud to receive their advice and make sure that we're working to do the responsible thing. It's been 5 years of consultation. I wish you guys would have gotten it right when you had the chance to, but don't worry, we'll get it right, Mr. Speaker.
Second supplemental.
Given that the Minister can evade the question but not reality, Now, this is an anticipated timelines for development of the North Saskatchewan Regional Plan. It's not advice. It's a government document. And given that this is one thing to have secret backroom deals with special interest groups and quite another to actually consult with Albertans, Minister, I have a simple question. Will you commit here and now to holding genuine, open and transparent public consultation process, including personally attending open town halls in the community to listen firsthand to everyday Albertans whose lives will be impacted by any changes made to the Bighorn?
Deputy Premier.
I'm proud of the fact that we are probably one of the most accessible governments in the history of this province, Mr. Speaker. We're proud to continue to meet with Albertans, ordinary Albertans, every day, Mr. Speaker, and we're proud of the fact that there were 21 town hall meetings that were held in advance of this, and also the advice document that the member refers to is advice, and the advice is posted publicly, so Albertans can give their feedback on it. We certainly welcome your feedback and the feedback of all Albertans, regardless of their expertise, Mr. Speaker. We want to welcome all information so we can make the very best decisions moving forward.
Honourable Member Edmonton.